Hey y'all, Liz Gray here. I'm going to walk you through how to renew your FAFSA for the 2022-2023 school year. If you have never completed your FAFSA before, make sure that you close this out and look at the video for new FAFSA. This is for those of you that just need to renew it for this coming up school year. We're going to select that you are a student and want to access your FAFSA form. We're going to click Login to continue. I'm using a demo account, so you'll just add your username and password and go to login, accept. If you're using the FAFSA site close to October 1st when it very first opens, just know that it might be slow, okay? So from here, you can see that the 2021-2022 is processed successfully. Just make sure you are completing the 2022-2023 application. So as I mentioned before, this is a demo account. So all the information should be here, hopefully. And when you log in, you should be able to renew your FAFSA form. So we're going to select that. Now you can create your save key. So this is, I usually just do a 4-digit code. This is if you are in the middle of the application and have to log out. When you log back in later, it'll take you back to where you left off. Then push continue. Don't want that. Oh, there's a little help desk thing. That's cool. Okay, so here is some FAQs. So that's helpful and new. So we're going to go ahead and just skip all that and go to continue. Now, because you are renewing your FAFSA, a lot of the information will already be pre-populated, which is great and a great time saver. Just make sure that everything that they have here is correct. Okay. Make sure your address is correct. If you've moved since last year, go ahead and update your address. I'm going to change this that Harvey lives in Texas now. Okay. Legal state of residence, we're going to say Texas. Did you become a legal resident before January 1st, 2017? Yes, we did. And are you a U.S. citizen? Select the answer that is applicable to you. Now we're going to talk about student education. So this is, again, pre-populated from last year. So you have to read the questions very carefully. What will your high school completion status be when you enter college for the 2022-2023 school year? So if you have graduated and earned your diploma, that's what you would select. If you got your GED or homeschooled or none of the above, that's what you would choose. Now you're going to choose what college degree or certificate you will be working for when you begin the 2022-2023 school year. So again, are you working towards your first bachelor's degree? Are you getting your associates, and if so, which one? If you're getting a certificate, if so, which one? Or if you're getting a teaching credential. You're more than likely not getting a graduate degree, but if you are, congratulations. But Harvey is going to be working for his first bachelor's degree. Then it asks, will you have your first bachelor's degree before you begin next school year? The answer is no. Next, you will have to choose what your grade level will be when you begin 2022-2023. So because you are renewing your FAFSA, I've made the assumption that you did attend school last year. So if you were going back for your second year, you would be considered a sophomore. Choose it there. If you're going back for your third year, fourth year, fifth year, choose what's best for you. We're going to say Harvey is going back for his second year. Then, are you interested in being considered for a work study? If you're not sure what work study is, or if you want to be considered for that, click the little question mark and it gives you some more information. We're going to say Harvey is interested. Then you'll answer if you are male or female. If you answer male, there is an extra question. Whether you're registered for the selective service, we're going to say Harvey is male, and yes, he has. Then you have to enter your driver's license number if you have one. If not, then skip it. If you do put in your license number, make sure to select the correct state. Harvey does not have a driver's license. Now it's asking, are you a foster youth, or were you ever in the foster care system? Select yes or no. We're going to say no for Harvey. Then you're going to answer your highest school completed by parent 1 and parent 2. So if you have both parents in your life, then you will decide who will be parent 1 and who will be parent 2. This needs to remain consistent throughout the application. So for Harvey's case, we're going to say that parent 1 is his dad and parent 2 is his mom. So if you know your dad's, well, for Harvey, his dad completed college. I'm going to answer as my parents. So I'm going to select that he completed college. He has his associate, so he's completed college. So for parent 2 for Harvey, I'm answering honestly about my mom. She dropped out in high school, so she did not complete high school. She would have completed middle school or junior high. So just make sure you answer honestly and truthfully. If you don't know your parents completed school, then select other or unknown. If they've graduated college, select that. If they graduated high school, select that. Now we're going to answer if you have ever received federal financial aid. So again, if you're unsure, click the question mark and you will answer it. So this means, have you received federal student grants, work study, or federal student loans? We're going to say yes for Harvey. If you select yes, you have to answer a second question. If you've ever been convicted of the possession or sale of illegal drugs, Harvey has not. Continue. Now, because this information is pre-populated, this part should be correct. If it is not, go ahead and go through and you can start a new search and fix that. We're going to assume that everything is correct and go ahead and go to continue. Here's where you get to select up to 10 schools to send your FAFSA to. We are going to send it to schools in Odessa. So you select the state and the city. Click search and it pulls up any schools that are in that city. We want to send it to Odessa College and UTPB. So I selected both. Continue. Then you have to answer your housing plan. So for Harvey, if he goes to OC, he will be living with his parents still. If he goes to UTPB, then he'll want to live on campus. Answer it how you would like. If you want to add more schools, go ahead and select here. If you decide later that you want to add another school to your FAFSA, that is consider making corrections, and I do have a video about that. But you can select up to 10 schools right here. If you only want to do 2, that's totally fine. So Harvey's just going to send it to those. So we're going to push continue. As of today, what is your marital status? Harvey is single. He is not married or remarried, not separated, and not divorced or widowed. Now it is asking if you have any dependents, meaning somebody, or excuse me. Now it's asking if you have any children who receive more than half of their support from you between that time frame. So Harvey does not have any children, so he's going to select no. Then it asks if you have other dependents other than the children or spouse mentioned above who live with you and receive more than half of their support from you. So it could be nieces, nephews, uncles, cousins, grandparents who receive more than half of their financial support from you. So for Harvey's case, no. Now here are more questions that determine whether you are dependent or independent. As mentioned before, since this is a renewal, all the questions are, or most of the questions are pre-populated. So last year, Harvey answered none of the above. So if any of these have changed, you will select that. If not, continue with none of the above. So nothing has changed for Harvey. Now it's asking on or after July 1st, 2021, Were you homeless, or were you self-supporting and at risk of being homeless? If you need clarification, click that question mark and it will give you more information. Harvey was not, so he's going to select no. So based on the answers of the questions that we just did 2 pages ago, we are considered a dependent student, meaning we have to provide our parents' financial information. So now it's asking, will you provide that information, or if you are unable? We're going to say that Harvey is able and is going to. Now this is a new page for this school year, and it's very helpful. It's answering the question, whose information should I provide? So if your parents live together, married or unmarried, you will give the information about both of your parents. If your parents are divorced or separated and you live with one parent more than the other, then you will use the parent who you live with the most over the past year. If your parents are divorced or separated and you live with both parents equally, then you will provide the information of the parent who gives you the most financial support. And then if you were legally adopted, you will report the information about the person or persons who adopted you. So for Harvey, his parents are married, and they were married in February of 2000. So again, it's pre-populated from last year, so just make sure that they are correct. Make sure your parents' information, this is for parent 1, and if you remember, we chose Harvey's dad to be parent 1, so make sure that their information is correct and add their email address. Parent 2 is Harvey's mom. Make sure all that information is correct. Continue. Now your parents' legal state of residence. Again, it's pre-populated, but we're going to change it to Texas just because we are in Texas. And then it asks, did your parents become legal residents of Texas before January 1st, 2017? The answer is yes. Now it is asking, how many dependent children do your parents have? And it gives you examples of what that means. So any siblings that live in your house that get more than half of their financial support from your parents, or if they can answer no to all the dependency questions earlier that we answered no to. So in Harvey's case, we're going to say that Harvey has 3 younger siblings that live at home, and there are no other dependents that your parents have, so they have to fall under all of those conditions, that they live with your parents, receive more than half of their support from your parents, and will continue to receive more than half of the financial support between that time frame. So here is showing your household. So it's you as the student, your parents, and any other dependents that your parents have. So for Harvey, it's Harvey, his parents, and his 3 siblings. So of the 4 dependents, again, which is Harvey and his 3 siblings, how many are going to be in school? So right now it's just going to be Harvey, so we're going to put 1 and then continue. Now this is asking about your parents' tax information from 2020. So you will have to select if they have already completed, will file, or not going to file the 2020 taxes. We are going to say that Harvey's parents have already completed it. When you do that, you'll have to select what form they use to file those taxes. Typically, it's this IRS Form 1040. And then you'll have to choose your your parents' filing status. And we're going to say married, filing joint. But if you have questions, click the question mark. But it does show you on the tax form where you can find that information. So here it does allow you to, if your parents are eligible, to link the IRS information to the FAFSA. So I don't know Harvey's parents' information, but you would know your parents' information. So you could proceed to IRS, insert your parents' information, and then it will link it straight to the FAFSA. So that's less information you have to input. But since I don't know that information about Harvey's parents, since it's a demo application, I'm going to skip it and complete manually. No thanks, I don't want to. I apologize. So here is where we will begin putting in your parents' financial information. If you linked it to the IRS, it quite possibly is already completed for you. So we are going to look at the IRS Form 1040, line 11. And again, if you need clarification, click the question mark. It explains everything, but it also shows you a picture of exactly where you can find that information. So we're looking for line 11. So whatever that amount is there is what you will put here. So we're just going to put 20,000. Push continue. So now it's asking how much of that number that you just answered. So for us, it's 20,000. How much of that 20,000 was earned by parent 1, which is Harvey's father, and parent 2, which is Harvey's mother. So here, for Harvey's case, Harvey's dad is the only one earning an income. So we are going to put the full 20,000 on parent 1 and 0 for parent 2. But again, if you need clarifications on how you get that information, there is pictures here that will help you. If your parents have more than one job, you can go through and look at the W-2s, which is just a summary of the income and earnings from your job. And you can add all of those numbers together and input that information here. If you have questions about that, ask the 2 and 3 Success Center, your college counselor, or the school that you're attending. Go to their financial aid department and they can help you with that. So we're going to push continue. So it is asking if your parents scheduled a Schedule 1. You can click here to learn more about Schedule 1, or click the question mark and it explains exactly what that is. So for Harvey's case, we're going to select no. Do you want to skip the remaining questions about your parents' income and assets? So you would click this if you don't have any more information. Maybe your parents just work, they don't have any other assets like rental properties or anything like that. If you did not work or file taxes for 2020, then you could go ahead and skip the rest. So for Harvey's case, he only went to school full-time last year, so he did not work or file taxes for 2020. So we're going to select yes, we want to skip. There are built-in error checks within FAFSA. So when you get to this point, if there is any verification that is required, it will stop you here. It will bring up the information that they found as needing verification. Then you will look through it, fix the errors if you need to. If there are nothing that you need to do, go ahead and click check for errors. Again, this is a demo account, so I was making up the information. That's why it wasn't matching up. Now you get to review your information. Remember that it says you're not done yet. Okay, we haven't submitted it. So we go through and make sure that all of our information is correct, that we've input all the information honestly, and just scroll through and make sure all the information is in there. You'll see a lot of blanks because we skipped all the financial information. Scroll all the way down to the bottom, and we're going to, because everything's correct, we're going to click continue. This is you signing it electronically, so you'll select that box, sign FAFSA form, and it shows that you signed with your FSA ID because you use that to log in. So now your parent would need to sign it. Your parent, one of your parents will need an FSA ID to sign electronically. We do not have a demo account for me to use for that. So I'm going to select this. We are going to do this for parent 1. And we are going to yes. So now when we get to here, we do not have that information for Harvey's parents. So I'm going to select other options. So if your parent does not have their FSA ID, then you can go through here. And these are the 3 options for signing your FAFSA for your parent. They can sign electronically with the FSA ID, or you can print a signature page or submit without signatures. If you submit without signatures, just know that you'll have to return later to electronically sign it, and that most schools do not process it without it being signed. So right now, just for demonstration purposes, we're going to select submit without signatures just so we can see the confirmation page. But ideally, your parent would sign it using their FSA ID. So once you've done that, we're going to come over here and go to submit my FAFSA form now. And then it says, congratulations, Harvey, you've completed it. Then it explains what will happen next. So within the next 3 to 5 business days, you would receive an email saying that your FAFSA was processed. Then it gets sent to the schools that you indicated in the application. So for Harvey's case, UTPB and OC. The schools will then use your FAFSA information to determine what kind of aid that you are eligible for, and they will send you the financial aid package. If you scroll down some more, it'll show your expected family contribution, or EFC. That information is what schools will use to determine how much aid you will receive. I would go ahead and print this page so that you can keep it, but you do get an email confirmation saying that you've been submitted. If you need anything at all, please reach out to us, and good luck in the next school year. Bye.